Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today's topic is going to be learning to be okay with uncertainty. All right, so I don't know. Did you react to that title? Learning to be okay with uncertainty. So we'll get to that in a second. All right, relax your body. If you're up like this, drop your shoulders. Shoulders should not be up near your ears. Relax your body so you can breathe comfortably. It's almost like a micro meditation. Just kind of settles things down a little bit. You can do that anytime you're feeling kind of jacked up and stressed out. So, learning to be okay with uncertainty. All right, uncertainty basically means you got no clue what's going to happen. And welcome to life. Life is uncertain. You never know what's going to happen, right? And I don't say that to scare anybody. I say that to just say, you never know. Sometimes a day can turn out great. Sometimes a day can turn out okay. Sometimes it can turn out to kind of shitty. You never know, right? We can predict, we can plan, we can influence, but you never know. So I'm going to encourage everybody to start learning to be okay with uncertainty. You wake up in the morning, today's going to be a great day. But if it's not, I'll deal with it. Important, right? We just don't know. Life, we just don't know. There's no certainties, there's no guarantees in life. Life can be very unfair, life can be glorious. But we have the ability to influence it in a positive direction through our decisions, our learnings, and the actions we take moving forward. So maybe you'll be pain-free today, maybe you won't. Does it matter? No, because you're moving in the right direction. You understand the cause of your symptoms, that this applies to you. You've made a decision to accept it, and you know that the path forward is to create safety more than you fuel the brain's perception of danger. And it's not just possible to get better, it's probable you'll get better. It's predictable, it's reliable. And as I say often, it's your turn, right? Will it happen today? Who the heck knows? But it doesn't matter, because if you stay on this path, it will happen at some point. And whether it be today, tomorrow, a week, a month, a year from now, you're going to get better. If you knew it was temporary, you'd be okay with that. And look, if I scared you by saying a year from now, don't let it scare you. I just did a success story today, and this person, from the time she kind of found my work and jumped into my group, took about a year for this person to really start feeling well. Her name is Bronx. You'll see her in a success story in the next week or so. But as she was going, she was learning more. And she's the one who taught me this concept of maybe it'll be okay, maybe it won't. Sit in that uncertainty. Get comfortable with that uncertainty. Because if you are constantly analyzing and figuring out how can I guarantee a positive outcome, you're going to go nuts. You're going to ruminate. You're going to OCD on how do I fix this? How do I make sure it's perfect? How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I make sure I get better today? And you're going to loop and your cycle. And what Bronx taught, and I'll let her speak for herself, was that to get over that OCD, you can kind of close the loop and say, well, maybe today will be great. Maybe it won't. Okay. So what? Right? And to be okay with not knowing, because you just can't predict it for sure. You know? I talk about how this is predictable, but only if you are, well, it is predictable. If you're going to freak out all day, it's predictable that you're going to have a tougher time of it. If you are going to remain calm and reassure yourself and be authentic in the trust that you're actually okay, it's predictable that you're going to have a better day. No absolutes. It's not like you can predict the symptoms will stop today, but I can assure you that you're going to have a better day when you're confident, optimistic, super clear on what's going on, super clear on the fact that this is all temporary, and super clear that you're moving in the right direction, and super clear that you're unbothered by what's going on. Predictably, you're going to have a better day there than if you worry and wonder and go into doubt and start researching and freaking out all day. You're going to have a worse time of it. That's predictable. That's reliable. So you may as well make a decision to do the things that are predictably better and lead you towards recovery than stay in panic. Now, some people will say, and I heard this the other day, but Dan, we're only human. There's only so much we can take of this crazy pain. I'm like, I get it. But staying only human and freaking out all day is not helping. How's that been working for you so far? If you're still really struggling, look at how you've been responding to your symptoms. Look at how you've been catastrophizing your future. This is zero blame. I am not saying this is your fault. What I am encouraging you to do is realize, holy cow, I do have some influence over this. And I'm going to take steps to influence it in a positive direction instead of letting my default only human reaction to the symptoms and the despair and the fear and the terror and the catastrophic thinking and the prediction that I'll never get out of this. Don't let that default rule the day. Predictably, work within the framework of how this stuff functions and do things that benefit you and move you forward. But in the midst of all of that, there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees your pain's going to end tomorrow. Be okay with that uncertainty. Be okay with the fact that, hey, I'm going to go out. I got a little bit of fear. I hope it goes well. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to expect the best. But be okay with the uncertainty because you can't guarantee it. And so by trying to force an absolute response or an absolute outcome, you're going to drive yourself nuts. Maybe you've been in a panic for years, and you're finally starting to get this belief, okay, I can do this. And you start to convey safety for a few days in a row. Then you wake up and you got symptoms, and then you're going, this isn't working. It takes time, folks. It really does. You got to do this work consistently over time to get the results. Because if you're thinking, I've been, really feeling pretty good mentally, emotionally about my situation and the fact that it's temporary, I've been feeling that way for a few days, but it's not working. It's because you've had 2 years worth of a shit show, excuse the language, of panic and freak out and despair and everything else. It's going to take more than a few days for the brain to buy and accept the fact that you're okay. So for anybody who's really struggling, I really encourage you to be patient. Be okay with the uncertainty of not knowing when it's going to happen. But if you keep on marching down the right path, consistent messages of safety that are credible and confident because you understand what's going on and that it applies to you and you know you're moving in the right direction, it's predictable, reliable, and yes, it is your turn. But be okay with the uncertainty of not knowing the when, not knowing exactly how it's going to happen. Be okay with the uncertainty of saying, maybe I'm going to have a great day, but maybe it's going to be shit. But I'm going to have to pick myself up and keep on moving down this path. So, uncertainty, it's a guarantee in life. Change, it's a guarantee in life. Nothing is guaranteed, but you can influence it in the right direction with your consistent clarity, calm, and do your best to remain unbothered by the symptoms because you know you're marching in the right direction and you will eventually get there. Are you certain to get there tomorrow? Nope. But the sooner you can get that clarity, calm, confident, consistent messages of safety, and being more and more unbothered by the symptoms, you'll get there sooner. It's predictable, and it is reliable, and it works, and you can do it too. So, love you folks, and as always, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.